would you look at that?
Wrong one. Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Well, how can I tell? I can't tell yet.
Can you tell me?
If I could tell you, I could tell me.
I see.
Are you a lover of poetry?
The morning stream. They wouldn't give us any more fish.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It is Thursday, January 5th, 2025. I am Scott Johnson. That is Brian Ibbett. Good morning.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Hello
it is.
there.
It is indeed. We have many fives today. We have, well, we don't have 5, 25, but we have 6, 5, 25.
6, 5, 25, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like measurements. I'd like a man.
I'd like him to be 6'5" and 25.
Yeah. I think we can work that out. That'd be great.
Sure.
Hey, everybody, we're here. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. We got my sister later. We got, a bunch of things. It's fun Thursday planned, and you're here to have fun with us, okay? So just sit back and relax, especially you live folks. It's nice to see this group of distracting freaks.
It is, yes.
Come here every day,
Not going to bite.
Yeah, no biting.
Don't dangle that carrot in front of me in the chat room, folks, because I ain't biting.
There you go. Hey, you ever take a 6 and a 3-year-old mini golfing? Is that a thing you've ever done?
I definitely have not done that. Well, I take that back. When my nieces were about that difference in ages when Tina and I, when George started dating their mom. So maybe I did, but
might have.
Boy, yeah. But it's been a long time. I don't remember it.
Well, yesterday this happened with Van and Phoebe, and I got to tell you, that is a riot. If you can do this sort of thing and not go too crazy with, siblings who are kind of my turn, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, and we have the most amazing video of Phoebe just cheating her way through mini golf. She doesn't understand.
Did she do the hockey thing, like basically where she's just pushing the ball into the cup?
100%. What you have in your head is exactly what she did. And so it was a lot of like two hands and going, and then like doing it forward and then bumping it 5 times in between shots, and then I don't know, 6 or 7, and then saying I win and things like that. And you're just like, yeah, you win. Good job. You're doing great.
Nice.
Super fun though. But don't go in there expecting the rules to be adhered to.
Yeah. No, you're not going there saying, okay, what did you shoot on that one? 5? Okay, how about you, Phoebe? Did you 3? I think that was a 3. You kind of hit that ball twice.
Yeah. Their mother's going to be a little mad though, I think, because I think we didn't put enough sunscreen on them.
Oh no!
It was an outdoor one, and we got a little sun, sun.
Yeah, it happens.
You have to do that eventually. You got to break that skin in.
Yeah.
She tries really hard to keep that down, but
of course,
smartly too, because we got a history in my family with some skin cancer, so gotta be careful.
Definitely not something you want to get wrong, but
no, but you do the best you can, and then you
it happens. Yeah.
Well, speaking of ailments, you had a headache all night, and you said you had a theory as to why, maybe.
I did. Well, so yesterday after the show, I had to race up to Boulder to meet my client for lunch, and ate some delicious Indian food. It was a buffet, but you had your tikka masala and your paneer sag and your naan. I'm not going to say naan bread because naan is bread. A naan.
Do you have any of that butter chicken? Butter chicken.
I think I did, but they didn't call it buttered chicken. There was some other name, but it was definitely buttered chicken style.
I love buttered chicken.
A layer of basmati rice underneath everything, and. Even though it was a buffet, Scott, and I could have had all I wanted to eat because of the bike thing, I'm being good, and I just had one serving and said, there we go, done.
Nicely done. I'm impressed. I would have a hard time with that. I don't think I could do it.
It was tough. It was very tough. So had the meeting with them, came back down to Arvada, and said, I need to get a bike ride in before the rain comes. The clouds were starting to pool up over the mountains and build, and that you've only got the ticking time bomb is coming.
Sure. So
because I've been concerned about the training ride Saturday, I knew I needed to do a training ride a ride to train me for the training ride on Saturday. And my big not dilemma, but something that we noticed when we looked at that the elevation of the training ride is that it's like a little bit of downhill and then whomp, like up a big hill where you get 1,000 feet of elevation gain in about 8 miles, 10 miles.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of uphill.
It's a lot of uphill, and it's steady uphill. So I asked myself, all right, well, what areas around here do I know I can get that kind of hill? Now, there's right by the house, we have a reservoir, and one of the rides I like to do is counterclockwise around the reservoir, because you've got big hill, level off, big hill, level off, big hill, level off, and then a huge downhill at the end that comes all the way back home.
It's a good way to break that up, usually.
It is.
Yeah.
But if you go around clockwise, it's basically big hill and then downhill, level off, downhill, level off, downhill, level off. And I looked at the elevation and like, all right, this actually looks like it's going to be pretty close. So that's exactly what I did. I hopped on the bike and I did the... it's always really intimidating, the clockwise ride around the reservoir because of it's these huge switchbacks that seem to go on forever, and they're, it's all an increase in grade, and you're just going back and forth. But I'm proud to say that I didn't even have to drop into the lowest gear on the bike.
Nice.
I was able to do it without succumbing to, nope, gotta go in the lowest gear.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about the ride. But once I got to the top and I started doing that, downhill level off, I'm going pretty fast. I'm going between 18 and 24 miles per hour. And I'm going through cloud after cloud after cloud of mosquitoes.
Oh, shit.
Just constant mosquitoes. And
we have them right now bad too. What is that about right now?
I don't know. I mean, we've had a lot of rain, so there's a lot of standing water for them to,
probably that, yeah.
to lay their eggs and hatch and stuff, which
Sure.
I'm sure is a big part of it. And I basically, I've got my glasses,
Yeah.
but I've got a pair of nostrils and I've got a mouth, and sometimes after riding, it's like I'm breathing through my mouth to catch my breath. Nope, not with this. I was like squinching the lower half of my face, trying to keep my nose as tightly shut and my mouth as tightly shut as possible, like only letting in just enough oxygen to keep me alive, basically.
Yeah.
Is what it comes
Otherwise,
down
you're
to.
breathing in a bunch of malaria corpses.
Oh my God. And I'm thinking, West Nile, Zika, who knows what,
Yeah.
these little shits.
I don't trust those little bastards.
No, and nor should you.
No.
It was, of the 10-mile ride that I did, 9.5 mile ride that I did, the first uphill, 4.5 miles, all the downhill, constant mosquitoes. Almost the whole way home was constant mosquitoes.
Oh, jeez.
And they're ricocheting off me, and there's, some of them are probably going down my shirt or into the holes of my helmet and biting me there and stuff. So I'm wondering if my headache was, me getting some sort of like some weird mosquito virus or something.
Could have been. Also could be just you trying to unusually regulate your breathing, trying not to suck them in. That could be enough to
easily could be that too. Yeah.
Oh man, that is a lot. Yeah, probably. There's nothing worse than a headache you can't explain. I freaking hate it.
I know.
Hate it. But I'm glad you're feeling better this morning. We almost had a down Brian.
Almost had a down Brian. Brian down.
Brian down. Brian man down. Wait.
Brian man down.
Man down.
Bike
Brian.
Bike man down.
Bike man down. I like that.
Yeah. So,
Well, anyway, I'm glad you're doing good.
yeah. So
We have another hot take on the grocery grazers from
I
Jeff.
love it. I think we almost need to start another podcast just specifically about grocery grazing.
Sure feels like it.
Yeah.
This is what we got from Jeff. He says, "Hey, sketchy and bites." Well, that's a fun way to start this since we just talked about mosquitoes. Says, I have a question about the grocery grazers. How is this not stealing, he says. If you take an item to checkout, but for whatever reason, no money on your card, no cash, the store machines are down, you aren't allowed to keep it. How does that work for food you've eaten? You can't give back the grapes that are making their way through your large intestine. I mean, I think they'd be making their way through your small first, but anyway.
Hopefully one, and probably at that point still in your stomach. Probably, unless those are some speedy-ass grapes.
Yeah, entirely possible, I suppose, but maybe you're You're not getting good grapes if that's happening. Anyway, says if you've ever been at a checkout and unable to pay, it's embarrassing but reversible. I would feel extra terrible if I couldn't give back what I already consumed. I have no problem with needing something to nosh on while you shop. Just pay for it first.
Yeah. It's a situation where like it's going to be such a rare occurrence that you get to the checkout and no money in your card, no cash, stores and machines are down, whatever the potential problem is, that grapes, for whatever reason, don't bother me as much as those other things that we talked about, like the horking the whipped cream out of the can, the Ready Whip, and and stuff like that. I think Dr. Nikki said that she and her mom, when they go shopping, they hate shopping. They grab a baguette and just start eating the whole baguette while they're shopping.
Yeah, a little bread never hurt nobody.
Yeah, exactly. So, I like Monica says, Coverville, have you ever gone over the speed limit? It's the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same because that's
not the same. There's not even the same physics.
It's the same in a general sense of we, as you say, we all break the rules, but it's not the same in that there's the stuff that you may eat that maybe or maybe your kid eats that you maybe don't realize they've eaten, and you put it back on the shelf on the thing without buying it.
Yeah. It's a little like saying I slapped a guy's hand.
Okay, murder, because we all break the rules.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like if you murder a guy or you slap him on the hand, there's no difference?
Yeah.
Of course there's a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not the same crime wave.
Exactly.
Different category of crime, I think. I get his point, though. I think that it is up to a little bit of interpretation, though. Clearly, I think it is because we've been talking about it.
I think so, but I still say that grapes are the easy exception to the rule. Yeah, you want to. It's the one thing where you can sample something without opening a package, see if it's going to be okay for you to buy, and it's it's not sour, not overly sweet, not tart, whatever.
Right.
You have a grape. All right. Yep. This is a good bunch. And then you buy the bag.
Yeah, you need to have a way to know you're a good shopper, that you bought the good stuff.
Exactly, and even if it's one where you have to weigh it, one grape, one half-ounce grape is not going to change the price of it, dramatically, where you're taking money from the store.
I do wish there was a way to better know if the watermelon you're about to buy. Other than people,
yes,
people have their methods of thumping and all that, and that works. And Kim does, and it works. We get good watermelon. We had a great one yesterday, but you don't really know till you get home.
No, those are more of a crapshoot. Like at least they have the watermelons that are cut open, cut in half, and you can see they've got plastic wrap over it, so you can see how red it is and that sort of thing. But
sure, don't get them if they're mushy.
Don't get them if they're mushy or kind of overly red means they're going to be, that has kind of been sitting around for a while. Dr. Calhoun says, Scott and Brian, is it okay? So it's okay to pirate games to try them out beforehand?
Again,
I'd equate the grapes to more of a demo than pirating.
Yeah, it's a demo grape.
You're not taking all the grapes.
No,
you're getting a demo.
You don't eat a bunch of grapes and go, you know what? I've eaten this whole bunch of grapes. I didn't like them, therefore I'm not paying for them.
Right.
You don't do that, and you're not.
Think of it more like you're streaming an album before you decide if you're going to buy it or not.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that. Or
it's a victimless crime.
The grape growers of America would like to call in and tell us how wrong we are.
But I'm not opening a bag of Oreos at the store, taking one out and saying, okay, yep, I like these. Or, nope, I don't want these. Give me the Post Malone ones over there.
If grapes were sealed, we wouldn't be able to do what we're talking about.
Right, exactly. Yes.
I don't think
it's really the only, it's kind of the only thing in the produce section where you're really going to do that. I mean, there's of course all your rind fruit. You're not going to pry open an orange and say, "Oh, this is good." The bags of clementines or something. But even the ones that do come in smaller portions, like your green beans or things like that, you're not going to pop one open and taste it and say, "All right, these are some good green beans."
Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah. So look, we're going to do our best, everybody. I know this is a controversial thing.
Yeah,
you're all going to continue arguing about it for weeks.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, cherries. Actually, Q-Star. That's a good point. Cherries. Those usually are kind of on the. Aren't they more loose, and you kind of just grab handfuls and put them in the bag and then weigh them?
I think you weigh those more. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some prepackaged thing, but
that's a tougher one because you're not guaranteeing that the cherry that you eat is going to be part of the same cluster that's going to tell you how good the other cherries are.
Yeah, plus, exactly. It's not going to be indicative of the rest of the cherries.
Right.
Whereas
I don't even know if really eating a grape tells you how good the other grapes are going to be.
I mean, it's not 100%, but it's closer because you're on the same vine.
You're on the same vine, but we've had those bunches where you get to the bottom of the bunch and there's like the weird little I'm almost a raisin grape.
Yeah. Plus, I don't trust people with pits. So when you try a cherry,
people with pits,
yeah. So depends on the people. And
I was just saying you don't trust shoppers to deal with pits and not choke.
Or spit it out somewhere that I'm going to step on it.
Oh yeah, good
gross.
point. Yeah, what are you going to do with the pit?
Yeah. Whereas seedless grapes, it's kind of victimless crime.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe still a crime, a very minor one. It's not. I don't know. Clearly, if it was a huge deal, you'd hear about grocery stores, guys at swarm at Kroger.
Right.
An old lady took a grape. Get in there quick. Stop her now. Like that's not happening.
Totally. Yes.
So it'll all be fun.
Go buy from farmers markets anyway. Don't go to big corporation grocery stores. Go to your farmers markets. It's borderline summertime. It's end of spring, beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Every weekend, you've probably got a farmer's market near you. They will let you taste a plum and say, yep, I'll buy a bunch of those plums.
That's the best part about farmers markets is they want you to taste the things.
Exactly. They will, if your mouth is open and you're not careful, they will shove their fruit in your mouth.
It's a crime if you don't taste their fruit.
You're insulting them if you don't.
Yeah, who wants that on their record?
By the way, what about those big ass grapes? You've had those before where they're like almost a small plum.
Yeah.
They're so big.
I like those. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I'll eat those. Right. In fact, there's really hardly a grape I don't like. The only kind I'm not sure of is those genetically modified ones that taste like cotton candy. Have you had those before?
Yeah.
That just feels like I'm doing something against nature.
Exactly. That's definitely a situation of you decided that you could, but you didn't ask if you should, or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, we're messing with stuff we can't control.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Cotton candy.
Let's see what else. There's was another thing that I was going to respond to that somebody brought up in the chat. No, they didn't bring it up. Red grapes, not as much a fan of the red grapes as I am of the green.
Agreed.
Especially the ones with the little tiny seeds that are just enough to be irritating, but if you swallow one, you're not going to die.
That is a grape that is not committing to whatever bit it wants to be.
Exactly. Be a seed or don't be a seed, but
quit this.
Cut it out.
Pussyfooting around in between.
Exactly.
I like the dark purple ones that are seedless. I don't know what those are called. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the ones I base all my grape desires on. Are those?
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, speaking of things where we might need a doctor to help us, Dr. Tolbert wrote in about that ham and eye thing yesterday.
Oh, yeah, good. Let's hear it.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to play this. Hammond, I think, is in the chat.
He is. I saw him there earlier.
Awesome. Yeah. Hammond, this is for you as well. So here you go. Let's enjoy.
Good morning, gents. Your friendly neighborhood family doc swinging by to answer your questions from the 4 June episode about Hammond Chamberlain's swollen red eye. Unfortunately, what happened to Hammond is something called a subconjunctival hemorrhage, which is just a fancy way of saying that a blood vessel between the conjunctiva, the outer layer of the eye that covers everything, including the inside of the eyelids, and the sclera of the eye, the white part of the eye, ruptured. A small blood vessel broke and it bled into the space between those two different layers. Luckily for Hammond, it's not anything dangerous or bad, and it oftentimes doesn't even affect vision. In fact, for most patients, they don't even know they've had it until they look in the mirror and see it. So the good news is, over the next couple of weeks, it should reabsorb and shouldn't cause him any troubles, but there can be some complications from those types of hemorrhages, especially if you notice any bleeding down into the iris part of the eye, which is something called a hyphema. That's a lot more concerning. So if there's blood just in the white part of the eye, usually not an issue. Don't even have to see a doctor for it. But if you start having vision problems or difficulty seeing double, any other changes in your vision that are new, especially after noticing the blood, then you definitely want to get that checked out. And you can start with primary care or an urgent care, but absolutely an ophthalmologist would be somewhere down the chain if things were more complex or difficult. Hope that helps. And if you need anything else, don't hesitate to page me.
So there you go. There's the word on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, the old wives' tale in me, the urban legend in me wants to say, well, you know why that happened? It's because Hammond sneezes like this. Hey, and he holds in the sneeze. Like when I sneeze, it is earth shattering. I scare the cat. I scare Tina. I'm like, hey, Joe!
Oh yeah, I hear about it from neighbors sometimes. I'm so loud.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I feel like that's a healthy way to sneeze. If you try to hold it in. What are you doing to yourself? Are
you trying to fool people into thinking that you don't sneeze?
Yeah. I think you're more likely to pee yourself later on in life.
It all comes down to the bladder.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Everything's about, continence and working toward a better bladder situation.
Yep.
Anyway,
so let those sneezes fly. Cover your mouth when you sneeze, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, cover, but
also,
sneeze.
Apparently there's some nasty new COVID variant that is really easy to catch coming out of California. There's cases in California.
Yeah.
So everybody be careful. I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month. That's a nice little place between me and California, which probably means, just got to be a little cautious.
I mean, it is if there's a disease anywhere in the country, the first place it's going is Vegas.
Probably. Yeah, because you got so many travelers from Asia and everybody from California, and all your coastal stuff just feeds in there, and they're all close together and they're all blowing on each other. I don't know how that place isn't just always shut down, but maybe it's keeping us healthy in the long run. I don't know.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Tolbert, for your eye advice.
Yes, love his call-ins too. It's great microphone, great audio quality. It's like
he's like a pro.
It's like the guest that we don't have live, but he sounds like he's here live because it's so good.
Exactly right. BioCow, a.k.a. Preston, or it's the other way around. Preston, a.k.a. BioCow.
I mean, really, an a.k.a. is just, it goes both ways.
Does it? Can it go both ways?
Yeah.
So if I'm Scooter and then I say a.k.a. Scott, a.k.a. Scooter, or Scooter, a.k.a. Scott, that's okay either way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coverville, a.k.a. Brian Ibbett, or Brian Ibbett, a.k.a. Coverville. Also known as. It's not like a known more famously as.
Oh,
it's just a.
That's good to know. I always thought it was that. I thought it was known more famously as.
Or an FKA, formerly known as. No, it's just as also known as.
All right, I'm never going to have to think about that again. I like it.
There you go. Good. You don't have to worry about the order of your AKAs.
Indeed. Here's what BioCow says about art stuff, and particular things you and I do that inspire him. And I think this is a funny call because... Well, we'll get to it. Here we go.
Hey, Smudge and Blend, it's BioCow. I was calling to ask your permission for something. I've realized that I've been watching you guys for years. You are amazing artists in everything you do. But by watching you create art, whether it be drawings or 3D printed models and things like that, your art influences me indirectly. And it might bleed over into my art. For example, Scott, I saw you do this shading technique one time in Procreate. Thanks for that recommendation, and I use it now. But I'm just realizing that it's definitely going to find its way into my art, and I need to get your permission before I continue making art in the future. So do I have your permission, please, to make art that is likely going to be influenced by you? And as I say that, I'm realizing I should probably send an email to Jim Davis and Gary Larson. And do either of you know anyone at the Charles Schultz estate? This list is going to get long. All right. I love the show, though. Bye.
I interviewed Charles Schultz's sister once, so I guess
that's cool.
Have that connection. But you don't have to ask for any of that. This is all the way this works.
Influence is free for all, free to share.
Yeah.
AI saying, I'm going to take a piece of column A and a piece of column B and a piece of column C and make something new. That's a different thing than influence.
Yeah, and we love hearing that people get ideas. That's great.
Yeah,
and that's where do you think we're getting it? Half of my inspiration as a kid came from the Gary Larsons of the world and the Mort Druckers of the world and these guys who had just massive
not
impacts.
so much Bill Keane.
Less Bill Keane.
Less Bill Keane.
Wasn't super into Bill Keane, but I had these influences. BC was a big one. Don Martin was big. A lot of mad stuff in general.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna? What are you gonna do? It is just what it is, and you inspire us with cool web ideas,
cool software, cool. Yeah, exactly.
All the time. So I wouldn't worry about it. You don't need permission for anything. run away with it. In fact, I think it's awesome that you saw me do some shading technique and decided that you would like to do it.
Cool.
That's
that
great.
means you're paying attention. That means you're learning.
That's right.
It's great.
And learning is half the battle.
Go, Joe.
That's right, Joe. Hey, one more thing. Brian, you got a little something about your training ride. We talked to some... Oh, did we already talk about it?
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, that was the...
Was that pre-show or on the main show?
No, that was during main show.
Oh.
That was me talking about the mosquitoes going in the mouth.
Oh, right.
And, yeah.
Yeah, that went places.
I know, it's been a while. We talked about, had a big grape discussion, a lot of eyeballs, and...
Yeah, it feels like days have passed since I heard about your ride. That's insane. All right. Well,
got to go on another one today, too.
Oh, fun. Was it? Were you doing right after the show, or?
Yeah. It's another day where we're in this stage in Colorado, and I think you probably get the same thing because of the being in the valley, is that you get into this springtime cycle of days are beautiful, early afternoon, gorgeous, and then the clouds come in and it rains until the evening, and then, then lather, rinse, repeat for the next several days.
Sure.
That's what we get here right now is if you want to ride your bike and not be in the rain, get it done before 2.
Yeah.
Before 3.
Early June is basically what it used to be May for us, and it's very similar weather patterns. It's very strange. Like last night was like downright cold.
Yeah.
But the day before that, we were burning up. Like it's just, and then there's rain, and then there's not, and then there's clouds, and then there's not. Then the super clear valley, you're like, this is a perfect day, and then the wind is so bad. It's like so weird.
Yeah.
But then it'll all settle into some real dark heat come July. So that'll be fine.
For sure.
All right, you guys, let's do a little bit of news. Let's get some news done. It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by
Coverville. Today, happening a little bit later because of the aforementioned bike ride. Look for Coverville to start up around 3. I know that's going to be right in the middle of the 6-hour Core Megathon, but if you need to take a break, or you just you don't like video games, crazy,
entirely possible, sure.
Yeah. Then I'm going to be doing music today, celebrating 40 years ago. So in June 1985, we had a pretty incredible collection of albums that came out. Hunting High and Low by Aha, the album that gave us Take On Me and The Sun Always Shines on TV. Brian Ferry's Boys and Girls, the first, I think his first solo album after Roxy Music, or an early solo album. No, I guess the first solo album in 7 years, and the first since he had disbanded Roxy Music in 1983. There we go. Cupid and Psyche 85 by Scritti Politti. If there are any Scritti Politti fans out there,
Now there's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Little Creatures by the Talking Heads, with And She Was and Road to Nowhere. Corey Hart's Boy in the Box, Worldwide Live Scorpions, Crush by Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Sting's Dream of the Blue Turtles, Mr. Mister's Welcome to the Real World, Heart's debut with Capitol Records after they left Elektra, I think. It was a great month for albums.
Jeez.
So,
and I can't believe it's been that long, but also that seems a little shorter than I was thinking it was.
In some cases, right? Like with some albums that don't age well, but they sound like a product of their time. Aha's first album sounds like a product of its time.
If you tell me Take On Me was 60, I would believe you.
Right, exactly. But Sting's Dream of the Blue Turtles, free, set them free, all that. That doesn't feel like it's in any specific place in time. It's got such a unique sound to it that doesn't say, oh yeah, this is purely an 80s album.
Sure.
Or that. Oh, LC Knight says, you heard that the lead singer of Aha has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease?
Man.
Dude, I didn't hear that. Morton Harkett? God, what incredible voice on Morton Harkett. I did not hear about that.
I don't like that at all. Stupid age, stupid time.
So anyway, that'll be happening around 3, so tune in for that. Be playing Marvel Snap with the new Morgan Le Fay deck. Some fun stuff happening with Morgan Le Fay and Merlin and a magic deck.
Nice.
Snap.
Very nice. Marvel's Merlin, everybody. Keep that stuff
Marvel's
straight.
Merlin. Well, Marvel has a Dracula. Marvel
Yeah.
has a Merlin. It's still, it is Merlin-like.
I love Marvel's versions of things. Thor is,
Yeah.
Marvel's Thor versus like the Thor it's based
The actual
on.
Norse god.
Yeah, it's
Marvel was way bigger on that than DC did it too, but Marvel seemed to do a lot of it.
Yeah, they really co-opted a lot of it.
They kind of did.
To the point that now when people think it, you say Thor, people's first thought is MCU Thor. They don't
Totally.
think about
Hemsworth,
the old school.
The fact, right.
All right, here's a couple stories. Porcupine, they're all pokey and the whatnot with the quills.
Yeah, all pokey and sure.
Well, this thing stowed away in a wrecked plane, transported more than 500 miles.
Oh,
before
wow.
they realized it, yeah. So this didn't fly somewhere with like a bunch of people in it.
Right, it was like put on the back of a hauler and driven across part of the country or something.
In this case, it was partly hovered with a helicopter, partly with a boat, and then a giant trailer, like you said, like a hauler trailer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wildlife rescuers in British Columbia are caring for a porcupine that's stowed away in a wrecked plane for a trip via helicopter, boat, and trailer. The Interior Wildlife Rehabilitation Society said it is frequently contacted to remove stowaway marmots from cars. I wonder why porcupine on a plane. They say it's unique, but why would any animals? I guess they just like places that look like they can nest.
They just crawl into a nice little secure place where it doesn't feel threatened and just kind of go for a little nap or something, and then all of a sudden it gets picked up and hauled out.
Yeah. This reminds me of something for no good reason. Because you said that, and I was thinking when Rainer once hid inside something she shouldn't have, and then I thought of something Phoebe did yesterday. So they're over here at the house, and I hit my finger in the kitchen, and I thought they were outside, and I went,
oh no.
I go, damn it to shit, as loud as I could.
Oh no.
And I hear this tiny little girl voice in the other room go, damn it to shit.
Oh no. Oh, it's the worst when they repeat.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So her mom will be happy with me. Anyway,
Great.
whatever.
Great.
She's got a potty mouth these days.
It would have been great if she would have said that all during miniature golf. Every time she missed a putt.
Damn it to shit.
Damn it to shit.
Well, anyway, it says here, it was only once the wreckage had been unloaded to the company's flat deck in Kelowna.
Kelowna.
That's a weird way to spell Kelowna, isn't it? I don't know. It looks Hawaiian.
I mean, if you're thinking of like the stuff that you spray on to smell good, it's a different Kelowna.
Hey, baby.
But is it not Wisconsin? Where is that?
I think it's
British Columbia?
Yes, it's up in Canada somewhere.
Okay, Kelowna.
It says they found it hiding underneath the pilot seat, which is just kind of funny. With the help of our supporting veterinarians, we lightly sedated. I almost said salted. That's fantastic.
I like my porcupine lightly salted.
Lightly salted, braised on the back. Anyway, via intramuscular injection into the rear end. There's a little bump.
Yeah.
Interior Wildlife said on social media, then we pulled it out gently by the front arms a few minutes later. No quills shed, safe for the humans involved and the animal itself, unquote.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. Everybody won.
That's funny. I mean, you got to wonder what a porcupine thinks when it's getting a shot like. So this is what it feels like.
Yeah, right? Because they don't know.
They just know that this is what they do to other people and other animals is stab them with their needles. It's like, oh wow, okay, this is what it feels like when somebody.
Well, it's a little like you never see your face unless it's in a mirror. It's like that.
Right. Yes.
I always think about that. You know what else I was thinking about yesterday? It didn't make me panic or anything, but I just thought about how humans really have a very limited hole to breathe through. So it's really important that we get oxygen. It's important to everything we do. We have to breathe. The atmosphere has to be what it is.
Sure.
All this stuff. This is part of the way humans have evolved. We cannot just be plopped on the moon and expect to survive. We must have the atmosphere and the environment that we have to breathe it in.
Sure.
We sure gave ourselves a tiny little tube for it. You know what I
see
mean?
what you're saying. So it's both a small literal hole and a figurative hole. Like it's
I mean, you got three holes.
We need a very small requirement.
You got two nostrils. You got your mouth, but they both go down the same hole. So that tube, if that gets cut off, somebody whacks it, cuts it, whatever, you're screwed. It's just such a limited. Like we ought to have a couple other redundant. You know, we have two eyes.
Like a backup hole.
A backup hole that I can breathe through.
that you could breathe through, like
Because I got backup holes. I just can't breathe
if
through
you
them.
needed to an emergency, you could breathe out your ears if you needed to.
Sure. And you always
Without-
see, like in doctor movies or whatever, there's an emergency, they stick a pen in somebody's
The
throat.
tracheotomy, yeah.
But it's still your trachea. It's still the hole. It's the one.
Right.
So
I always think of Radar, by the way, getting instructions from Hawkeye back at camp, like, all right, Radar, look for a ballpoint pen. What?
Yep. For whatever reason, that is like the go-to one.
It really is. Yeah.
They had one in the pit. They have them in almost every medical show, but that's the one I go to is Radar out there.
And we had a trivia question on this the other day, and it was, I got corrected. Technically, it's the trachea, but it's a stracheotomy or something like that. It's not like a tracheotomy. There was a whole different name for it. That was like, oh, that's what it's called when you put the let's see.
Because tracheotomy is the one we're talking about with Radar.
Right. Well, but it's apparently called something else. That because they brought up the one in the pit and they brought up the one on MASH.
Oh.
And it's like Dr. Tolbert. Maybe it's time for another
Paging Dr. Tolbert. Paging Dr. Tolbert. All we have is a Dr. Callahan. Stracciatella. There you go.
I don't know. But
I have no idea. I don't know what that's called, but I always thought it was tracheotomy. Also, the sometimes in these medical dramas, and there's another fun one they always do where they take a straw or a pen and shove it into somebody's chest because their lung collapsed, and now suddenly it's coming out of there again. Like in the new the Mission Impossible, a certain character has to have that done.
Right, has to have that done.
How real is that?
I mean, when I pull it up on Wikipedia, it is the tracheotomy, but we got corrected or not corrected. We had to come up with the other name. Cricothyrotomy?
Let's see. Mayo Clinic gives it.
Yeah, there was some.
Let's see if I can find this. Why is it done? Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Yeah, they don't give me the other name for it.
Yeah, I'm only seeing tracheotomy, and I thought there was some there definitely was another name that we had to come up with that wasn't tracheotomy that I thought began with an S, and I'm not seeing it.
Oh, look at this poor lady here. The tracheotomy.
Yeah, it's the same one on the Wikipedia page.
She just looks like a little too happy about it, actually.
Well, it's the plane's going down, but we all must remain calm, like they put in the emergency guide on an airplane.
Yeah.
You don't want people screaming on the images. It's like, yep, they're just putting a hole in my throat and jabbing a thing in there.
I don't like I see instruments like this, and I get very uncomfortable. I don't like this stuff at all.
Right. Oh, yeah, no.
I don't want any of this shit anywhere near my throat. I don't want to have this done. I want to go through my whole life and die without this ever having to be a thing.
Crike? Oh, okay. LC Knight says crike sounds right because it's called a crike tube. Maybe that's what it is.
That sounds familiar suddenly.
Crikeotomy?
Suddenly crike sounds familiar. Crike?
I'm gonna do type crikeotomy.
Maybe in the pit they said something like crike.
That might be it. Yes.
I'm having a flashback about that.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. This will take. Stick around and watch two old guys Google stuff.
We like to do our own research here on the show, and sometimes it means real time. All right, that's how it works. Here's the thing for those of you who don't like bees.
Okay.
This isn't just fishing for titles, I promise. In fact, let's play the official. Where's the bees? I mean, we don't play the original one enough. Here it is.
I don't like bees.
There we go. This is perfect for this article. 14 million honeybees have escaped.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're on the loose now after a truck overturns by the U.S.-Canada border. Too much fentanyl up there. Gotta shut it down.
Gotta close those borders. They're just letting all the bees. We love bees. We call them bees. We love the bees.
Yeah.
They provide lots of honey.
I don't like those African bees.
I don't like the Gerry Seinfeld bee. The Gerry Seinfeld bee is not a good bee. He's a bad bee.
Yours is getting better and better, by the way. It's just
cricothyrotomy, by the way, I found it.
Oh, we got it. Thank you,
cricothyrotomy. And that is specifically when you put it's a medical procedure, sometimes referred to as a cryotomy. Trachea or emergency tracheostomy involves making an incision through the skin and the cricothyroid membrane and inserting a tube into the trachea to create an airway.
Okay, so that part of the process is that.
It is that. It is the procedure. So I don't know what the difference is between a cricothyrotomy and a tracheotomy, but apparently it was enough of a difference that we had to adjust our trivia answer.
Well, may none of us ever have to have one done to ourselves. That's what I hope.
Here you go. Here's the difference. Cricothyrotomy is an emergency procedure, while tracheostomy is usually for long-term breathing assistance. So that lady, that very calm lady that looked like she was going to have that tube in for the rest of her life is a tracheotomy. But radar helping that dude next what's in the Jeep.
Yep.
With Hawkeye's help over the walkie-talkie, was performing a cricothyrotomy.
This is great. And they don't tell you that in MASH. They didn't get all specific.
No.
Bastards. Oh, we didn't talk about how sad Loretta Swit passing away was.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
87's a wonderful age, and I'm glad she got there and all that stuff. But that one really hit me. I don't know why. It really bothered me.
I mean, she's
a real sweetheart.
Alan Alda did a few other things, quite a few other things. But Loretta Swit, I always only ever connected with MASH. I don't know if she ever did like comedies or things where she played a different character, because I don't remember ever seeing Loretta Swit do anything but be
Do you ever see the Christmas
Hot Lips Houlihan?
The Christmas parade? Not Christmas parade. What do you call it when the kids do a Christmas program?
A pageant.
Pageant. So I think it's called the Christmas pageant. Do you ever watch that?
No.
Yeah, that was actually all right. She was like a teacher or a mom or something. And it's all super family focused, like a thing you'd watch on TV. But she was quite good in it. But there's just something about her arc on that show where she starts out as, she's the hot lady everybody wants to make out with, and she's a little two-dimensional. And then if you listen to interviews and stuff, she's primarily responsible for the evolution of that character into a more strong character.
It was such a great evolution. Like that episode, I'll never forget, the one where she's talking to Nurse Kelly. Did you ever once invite me in for a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Or a lousy stinking cup of coffee?
Yeah. That was a big one.
That was a big one.
She's great. She won Emmys and did amazing stuff. So
well deserved. Yeah.
I think that leaves Klinger, Radar.
Alda's still alive, isn't he?
Yep, Alan Alda, Klinger, Radar, and of the main cast. I think they're the only ones. I think that's it. Right?
Really? I guess I'd forgotten that Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Oh, Mike Farrell's alive. Sorry,
Mike Farrell's alive. Okay,
BJ's alive. Yeah, it's the other one.
That's why I'd forgotten that, because it didn't happen.
Because it didn't happen. Yeah,
yes.
It's easy to forget stuff that didn't happen. Who played Trapper? I forgot his name.
Yeah,
McLean. No, that's
McLean Stevenson was Blake,
right.
Colonel Blake, and he died
long time ago.
Yeah,
so did Frank. Frank died in his 50s.
Right.
Smoker,
yeah.
big time
Can't
smoker.
Remember who played Trapper John?
I don't know. Wayne Rogers.
Thank
that's
you.
It.
Yep, that's it.
I was going to say it sounds like this old school Hollywood name. Wayne Rogers presents Lucky Strikes. Anyway, so we're down to like 3.
Yeah.
And then there were 3.
Wow.
Anyway, these bees, they're everywhere. Watch out. Don't die. It was 70,000 pounds of hives. That's how heavy these bees were.
Really? The bees? Oh, my God.
That's just the hives, which I assume includes the weight of the bees. I don't know what bees weigh, but that's just insane. So,
I guess we're never going to use that road again. That's done.
There it is. The greatest.
It belongs to the bees now.
Elsie Knight with the hot facts today. The greatest Christmas pageant ever was what it was called.
Okay.
83 on TV. And it was right around the time the show ended.
Nice.
MASH ended. So anyway. Seek it out if you're into family fare.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from this break, my sister Wendi will be here. We are talking an email we got. I think it's a good one. So stick around for that.
A little follow-up deal is what we've got.
Yeah, little dealio follow-up deal.
Good.
I like those. But that'll be without. We have to have a song. We can't do that.
We have to have a song. We just got to ease into the Therapy Thursday with some music, and we're going to get some music right now from the Chris White Experience. That's right, the Chris White Experience. This guy's from London, and this brand new album is called Volume 7 Songwriter. It's got a very cool bluesy vibe to it, which I really, really dig. Let's see. Anything else? 60 years. He's came to prominence in the mid-60s as the bass guitarist and occasional lead vocalist of the English rock band The Zombies. So What's
Nice.
your name? Who's your daddy?
Oh, I used to love that song.
Is he rich like me?
I still like that song. It's great.
It's a great song. Anyway, this is a song called Keep On Running Away. Here is the Chris White Experience.
Well, would you look at that little feller? He sure looks happy, don't he?
Okay, maybe.
And we're back. Who was that again, Brian?
That is the Chris White Experience. Brand new album called Volume 7 Songwriter with a lot of great bluesy songs on it.
Very nice. Have to check that out. I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. It's time for us to ping my sister and bring her in here and play her thing.
Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. Lie down on the couch.
It's too early for a fish sandwich.
I keep forgetting I added that part.
All right.
Hey, look who it is. It's my sister Wendi joining us. Hi, Wendi Dunford.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm screwing up the sound again.
No, you're on. Are you on? Where are you at? You on your computer or phone or what?
I am, but it won't let me use my.
Yeah, it sounds
Ooh.
sounds like you're on some weird mic deal. Can't tell what that
It's not
is.
picking up my headphones.
How about now? Now? Oh, I hear myself on you. I'm going to put no headphones.
That boy needs therapy.
That boy needs, Wendi needs help on her
boy.
computer.
I know.
That girl needs Adam.
Are you on maybe a different microphone than you think?
Yeah, tap on the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's say punch it. Just tap on it.
yeah, we lost you entirely, so she's probably switching. It sounds like she got a headset or something,
Yeah, sounds like it.
which is totally
And not a
fine.
very good one.
No, I'm going to go ahead and pitch in to get her a new one, and
Yeah, sounds good.
we'll see what we can do there. Oh, hey, Preston, you're in the chat. Did you hear your call earlier?
He did. He came in actually just as we were playing his call. So
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you
it was
didn't miss
perfect timing. He's like, I just tuned in and heard my voice.
I would have felt bad if we hadn't heard you. All right. Well, while Wendi deals with things, we'll see what's going on here. I'm sure she'll figure this out.
She will.
She's
Absolutely.
capable. She's she's a smart woman. She's all these things. She was
Right, exactly.
She was raised
She-
in a pressure cooker where I chased her with a cold soldering iron, and she
Right.
lived. I mean,
She was born in a crossfire hurricane, from what I hear.
another song I really like, actually.
Born in a crossfire hurricane.
Let's see. What is she? Is she even blinking? No, she's not. Let me see if I can do anything from here. Oh, she left.
Oh, wow.
So perhaps a rejoin is in her future, which is fine. She can do that, and we'll be happy to take it. In the meantime, I may pause things. Yes, I will. I will pause this. All right, so I've paused that video. Oh, here we go. Now let's accept her. Wendi, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can. You were a little still a little weird, but it'll work. It'll be fine.
Oh my gosh, what is this clean feed? I don't like it.
It's easy. It's something on you got some weird mic switcheroo going on. I don't know what it is.
You know how it has like your name and then it says headphones,
Yeah.
but I'm trying and it's just mad at me.
Well, look, you're your mother's daughter. All right. That's a terrible joke. Hey, it's good to have you here, and this will absolutely work for our needs. We're going to talk about an email that we got, and this one came this week with not a whole lot of extra info, but I'm going to read what we got. Somebody named S, and they say this: Dear Scott, Brian, and Wendi, this is Style again. Oh, I guess they gave us a name.
We'll call them S, but their real name
is Style.
Style.
I assume that's a nickname. But anyway,
Yeah,
I previously wrote about my younger brother being the scapegoat. Thank you for reading that email. It was surreal hearing you discuss my life, and I truly appreciated your thoughts. I'm in the middle of 3 boys, 48, 47, me, and 41. She denied it completely, cut off relatives, and we dropped it out of fear that she would cut us off too. Our dad,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our dad acknowledged it once and then never again. Our younger brother, dealing with a divorce, chose not to engage. Since then, we've built a relationship with John, but my mom still doesn't know or won't acknowledge him. And now this January, another half-brother has surfaced. His name is Chris. We've welcomed him too, but we haven't told our parents. We're stuck. I want my kids to grow up knowing that family matters, all of it, but there's fear that bringing this up could destroy what little contact we have with our parents. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I also can't ignore these new relationships. What should we do? Thanks for listening. So we've got a bunch of new family cropping up out of nowhere. secret children that parents didn't talk about.
Yeah.
And trying to manage that, deal with that, and do all that stuff. It sounds to me like Styles got the healthiest possible perspective toward this. But Wendi, where do you want to go? How do you want to attack it?
I'm remembering it kind of going back in my mind, like when this previous email it was pretty chaotic, and we were suspecting Mom has some personality disorder kind of
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna guess without Mom having treatment, we're still the same situation. Those things tend to just last. You know, they're sort of hard to treat, and then they take a hot minute, and a lot of folks just are like, I'm fine, and keep cutting people off left and right, and or having the same problems, right? So I'm just going to make that assumption. And so let's get to the core of what this person is actually asking. They're saying basically Mom still has a lot of power in this family system to scare everyone, or, you know, kind of be in the middle, even if people aren't talking to her, right? Like there's a lot of that going on, and that is not fun. And so the question might be like, all right, how do I be authentic or be myself or be, what's maybe the right word here, in teaching my own family about what matters, or how to live with people or live without, you know, whatever.
Sure.
And guess what? None of that is affected one bit by your mother. You are going to teach that, whether it's blood family or family of choice, neighbors, friends, whoever, you know, you bring into that circle, you can teach them what matters. I think the scary thing often in these dynamics is that what has been modeled to you has kind of messed with your own definition, whereas your kids only know what they know. Right. So if I could ask a follow-up question from Style, it would be like, so how do your kids, what do they think? How much listening in have they done to what you guys think about? You know, like, are you guys talking crap about people and they're hearing you? So now they have those same opinions. You know, that's a challenge, I think sometimes happens. So I'd love to know more about just like, what does your kids already think? And that's a great place to start. Sit down with them and ask them what they think family is and what matters. Because blood is, you know, and everyone's different. There's different, like, sort of microcultures of this. But how someone treats you, I think, is a great definition of family. And sometimes having a switch of definition can really free people up to make choices to be around people that are healthy for them or not healthy for them, right? So I would check with the kids first.
So kids, you know? When you talk to the kids, is there an age consideration here? Is there anything like that they have to worry about? Like,
yeah, I'm guessing. Let's look at he's 47, so at most these kids are maybe could be in the 20s, all the way down to, they could be little kids, right? So that would matter. That's a great point. If they're smaller, you're just still teaching. You're like more indirect. You could ask, like, what do you think a family is, or what's important to you about family? And you could just ask those kinds of questions. And then you could also do some teaching of just talking about love or treating each other well, or, you know, any of that. And then if they're older, they can probably handle more. But you're really wanting to know, it's a little bit of like, you know, you think a kid understands and they don't necessarily. So you want to check first, like just take their temperature. They might be like, I haven't thought about grandma in 20 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or they may be like, oh, I'm so excited to have a half Uncle Chris, or, you know, this is awesome and more the merrier. You just need to check first what they're thinking. If your core goal is to stop this generational stuff and to do a good model for your kids. So that would be, I would start there, and I would worry very much less about those other things and more about how that is going before because so often as parents, we're sort of like, what's in their best interest? And we're making it up as we go, and we're not checking with the stats yet, like actually find out.
What do you think we would do? What would be our reaction at you and I and, you know, Misha and everybody right now if suddenly we got news that mom had 3 love childs out of the marriage somewhere? Would we?
You know that's not how it works. It's men have love child.
Oh, well,
Women
whatever.
That's true, yeah.
I was just thinking because mom's still around. But let's say that we find out that dad had love children we didn't know about, and they're all in their 40s and 50s now or something. What do you think our reaction would be? I feel like we'd be able to handle it pretty well. I feel like we'd just go.
We'd be like, sweet, more the merrier. Unless they were super weird, then we'd be like, we're not related to you that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it'd be fascinating. I mean, isn't this the era of, getting your genetic testing and finding out all sorts of things? You're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
So this is not unheard of, but yeah, he didn't say who the half siblings were from, right?
No. Mm-hmm. Didn't get into whether it was like dad's side, mom's side,
or from multiple mothers or one mother, or
yeah.
And now this January, another half brother.
I know exactly. Yeah.
So we got some stuff going on, and I think, as I hear that, I think again this idea, and maybe this is, because I've experienced this and living in a lot of different places where I don't have family, is that the family, you can choose a family, you can create connections. And the nice thing about a chosen family is that you really don't have to spend every holiday with them.
Yeah,
but you can,
Sure.
So there's some definite benefits. I think, Friendsgiving is a fun extension of that, of like taking something that was traditionally a family behavior or a family only kind of dynamic and actually making it more enjoyable or whatever, right? So I think really thinking about how you want to be in a family, and then making those decisions, checking in with your kids, seeing how they're feeling about things. And then, because we have this same dynamic of what was the line here with, we cut off, and let's see, she denied it completely, cut off relatives, and then we dropped it out of fear because she was going to cut us off too, right?
Yeah.
And this idea that she's the one that cuts out a family. And when you're at the risk of being cut out by your mother, right, that's a big fear.
That's a huge one. Yeah,
I don't want to minimize that at all. But how much energy goes into tiptoeing around them, or sort of making, I don't know, that the center of the family system. There is a way to move away from that being the center of the family system. Typically, personality disorder folks are really central to family systems. And it's because they're the most chaotic. Like think of like a series of people, and you're like, who's the squeakiest wheel? And then everyone is noticing, aware, making sure their needs are met, so the squeaking will stop, right?
Yeah.
And it's always like the really sweet, quiet middle child who's just like, I'll just take out the garbage while you guys, and so, and that's our guy, right? He's the middle child here.
Yeah.
So the peacemaker and trying to make it right. So I would really think about your own definition, your own thing you want going on here, and have that be a focus.
Yeah.
And see what comes out of that thinking and those conversations, and use that as the foundation rather than we're going to get whipped around based on mom's changing opinions or whatever.
Yeah. Obviously this is not simple. I just can't get over the fact that Style, this person calling themselves Style, is this forward thinking about it and saying, well, okay, well, I've got these are people in our lives. We have to, I'm not going to just not acknowledge it or pretend it didn't happen the way everyone else has for all these years.
Right.
And I can't help but think that this is a huge head start to like a resolution.
Yeah.
Because he can sort of head it up. And it's funny, you mentioned him being the middle child, and that is kind of I don't know if it's a stereotype, if it's real, but middle kids do tend to oftentimes, they're quietly making sure stuff's okay in the middle of it all. And it sounds like maybe he's got that role here, but I don't know. I can't quite get past the idea that he's already half there because of this attitude he has. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it is just about, all right, Mom, well, we're going to deal with you or not. And either way, my kids are going to understand this. And
exactly. Like he's kind of, it sounds like he's able to compartmentalize this stuff and be like, I can have my relationship with these kids and these other people and not, or these siblings, half siblings, and not have to, if he was younger, he might have to get permission from his family, from his mom.
Yeah, I think this would be so much harder to deal with in your teens or your 20s
18,
or
right,
yeah.
or 17. Yeah, for
any
sure.
of that era. Anything pre-30 would just seem like, oh my gosh, what? And then it would distract from everything. But now you're in a more mature place, I think. And
I mean, it's harder because so many things are established. So the relationship has got to be a lot. You're coming in while this person is in their 40s, in their adult life, well into their adult life. So they've already established their relationships and their who they are as a person for decades, as opposed to meeting them when they're young and you kind of like learn, you grow together, so to speak.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's such better news than some news you get, which is like, oh, no one talked about it, but 40 years ago, all your siblings were abused and you weren't, and now we have to deal with that or whatever. It's more like, you had some surprise siblings.
Yeah.
Off we go. Let's have some fun.
Well, and also I'm remembering now, and I was rereading the first paragraph about that the younger brother was the scapegoat, and I'm remembering this idea of like, it's like the classic structure of a family, a dysfunction in a family, or an alcoholic family, or various sort of versions of this where there's a scapegoat, and the scapegoat's like the family truth teller, the one who's not willing to play the game, and so this younger brother gets all the crap, and now the younger brother is dealing with the divorce and not engaging in this other stuff. So we've got their own struggles, and so that leads me to this idea of, right, okay, so your brother's the scapegoat, then your brother is now getting divorced. I really like to ask people how you want to show up for others, how you wish others would show up for you. So often people will complain like, no one showed up for me, or I learned who my real friends were because blah, blah, blah happened. And that is everyone's going to pat your back online when you talk like that, right? But when your therapist talks to you and you find out like, okay, let's talk about what it is how do you show up for others? Kind of the hypocrisy of ourselves as humans, which is just like, well, yeah, I couldn't go help my friend at the funeral because, I was busy. But where was he for me? There is our self-centeredness little issue happening. And so I would ask that question in my series of questions I would want answered, which is, how have you shown up for this little brother? And is there something there you want to tweak that feels better for you?
Yeah.
And then at the same token, you might be in a family system where no one shows up for you. So that would be my secondary question, depending on the case, right? Is like, maybe it's that you do show up too much. Maybe it's that you're giving and giving and giving, which I suspect might be more the case in this one. But asking yourself, like, how do I want to show up for family, whatever that means? And then how do I have people in my life who are showing up for me? That there is this true support and connection, as opposed to this sort of fraught, difficult obligation or dancing around, walking on eggshells, and it feels all very exhausting. So often people will like, I'm just out of this family system, I can't do it, right?
Yeah. Hardly can blame them sometimes.
No, exactly. Yeah. But if you're going to stay and you're going to create the most healthy version, you're going to need boundaries. You're going to need to have really open conversations. You're going to need to look at your own stuff, like what keeps getting activated in me that I feel so responsible, right? So it is not just a stereotype with middle children. Part of it is that socialization of having to please an older sibling who has more power and a younger one who's crying and gets more attention or whatever, Like, how do you actually, how's your brain develop around that, that nurturing?
Never really thought about it, but it's almost like the stereotype of the oldest child and the stereotype of the youngest child are what build the middle one.
Yeah.
The middle one is a result of the other two being the thing we think they are. I don't know.
Right.
It's weird.
Right. Yeah. And it's a little chicken and the egg, though, because my middle kid was born, he was 5 days old, and I was like, this is the best human baby ever born. He's so helpful, and he's only 5 days old. And he has never not been the most middle child
ever. And it's weird because I saw it so early. So I was like, were you in the line for middle children because it fit you? Like, what is this?
Yeah. He's
the
regional manager for middle children, by the way.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
in a higher position.
Yeah. And so that obligation, or maybe the sensitivity that develops from that, or the, just the skill set, or, because I'm sure, there's people could be like, I'm a middle child and I'm the hellion. You're like, okay, you do that. Or I'm the scapegoat. And scapegoats often just are a personality issue with the parent. The parent is triggered. It doesn't always have to be the youngest. That is not a only youngest child thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the youngest child will be the favorite, and then the oldest is the scapegoat. That's always a fun dynamic. So some of it is identifying roles, seeing what's actually underneath all this. But I really, if I could emphasize anything for style, it would be to take into consideration themselves maybe for once. Because you notice in none of these emails, it's about them. It isn't about them. So I've been doing this thing recently. This is maybe a jump off to anybody else, another email or something. But I've been working with sort of middle-aged folks, just generally, and asking this question. And I work a lot with college age and middle age at the moment. I'm getting these two ends of the spectrum in a way. It's pretty interesting.
Sure.
And the middle-aged folks, it's I'll just say a version of who are you? I mean, I don't make it weird, but I'm like, who are you? Mm-hmm. And it is really difficult for them to say who they are without it being what role they play or what they do, right? Especially in American culture. And really boiling down to the things that feel real and solid about themselves, or that they like about themselves, or things they enjoy or think about. It's just very core to who they are. That it's a real struggle for them to answer that. And then I'm working with college age students who are just who am I? And I'm like, okay, so people go 25, 30 years and don't figure out that question without a million roles, right? So it's pretty fun to do that kind of work with people and get them to, usually it's a bit of an existential crisis because they're like, I have nothing, I don't know, right? Yeah. So it's fun to kind of explore and figure that out. And so I think about style here, the middle age, hitting has kids, is hitting all of the tick marks that I would want to ask this question.
Is it easier for you were talking about how you talk to college age kids as a different demographic? Do they answer that question differently?
Yeah, 100%, because they are developmentally exactly at the point where they're supposed to be figuring that out.
Okay.
Right? And so you take the sweet, cute kid with all the confidence, and then he hits middle school and suddenly he's super self-conscious.
Yeah.
That is developmentally normal, and the brain activates and develops this self-referential stuff that didn't exist before, right? And so 17 to 25, 26 is the developmental milestone of just who am I, and am I capable, and am I, this is why college makes a lot of sense in this moment, and this is where, job training makes sense, because you're developing towards what do I do, and what's my competence, and that's really powerful. And usually what happens is you develop the competence, I'm a veterinarian, and that's how you identify, because it gave you the competence. And so it's fun to work with them when they're, young, and get them to do some of this work before their job takes over their identity.
It'd be so much fun if you could travel through time and have somebody in their 20s answer this question, and then jump to when they're 50 and ask them the same question and see if it worked, see if it hooked.
Yeah, and answering the question is one thing. Measuring their sense of self, measuring how much they understand themselves, I think would be so cool. Why can't we jump through time? That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. It's Brian knows all the reasons why it won't work, though, because he's a big time travel guy.
I study the time travel. I'm sorry, just won't work.
Yeah, if you ever see a movie about time travel and you have questions, Brian will be there to help you.
Just ask me. I'll help you out. Yeah. I'll let you know why it doesn't work, why it's broken.
It sounds like I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. He really knows.
Oh, okay.
He's really good at this. Yeah. So that's pretty wild. So in this particular case, it just seems like the mom part is kind of impenetrable at this point.
Yeah, I would would say, I mean, I don't have enough details, but I could make from an educated guess that if she can't have all she's got is cutting people off, denial, and we're all afraid she'll cut us off, we're probably pretty entrenched. I mean, I'm assuming her age is in the 60s or 70s.
Probably,
maybe.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying people can't change. It's just certain people don't do what it takes to do that. Or, I mean, you try to imagine, I do this sometimes too. I try to imagine someone at some stage, like imagine if they'd gotten therapy 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like what a different trajectory this woman might have. I read this crazy article, and I don't know where it is now, of this woman who was just incredibly physically abusive to her 2 daughters and went to therapy in her 60s and brought her daughter in to apologize for all of the abuse. And she was like, I wasn't even ready to hear the apology. I was just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Until she had to have her own journey of recovering from being, viciously abused as a child. But this woman in her 60s and 70s made it right, did all the hard work, and I just think it gave them a chance at the end of their life to have a real relationship. It takes a lot of guts. And, sometimes I have to remember, like, it sounds cool to get therapy now, but it didn't 20 years ago. It definitely didn't 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And so to really work on yourself takes a lot of vulnerability and humility and wanting a different outcome for your relationships. You got to do the work instead of just assuming everyone else is the problem. And,
Yeah.
that's part
But I like Styles' attitude. And I like his style, too. I like his style and his attitude.
I like
I like style.
He's styling, is what he is.
Yeah. Filing.
Well, Style, as usual, give us some feedback. Let us know how things go. He's always been great about that as well, and I'd love to hear how this stuff goes. Guy's got a full plate. Got a lot going on.
Yeah.
This dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck with all of it. Wendi, nobetteryou.com. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. Big meeting. Brian, have you already logged in and watched any of the classes or anything?
Ooh, no, I haven't. Didn't realize there was already classes to watch. I thought that today was the first day with the live
homework.
The live
this
thing.
is clearly your problem, not mine. No, I
Yes,
did not.
It is clearly my
clarify
problem.
that. No, you log in right now. You can watch. They drop on Mondays. You can get them anytime after Monday.
Cool.
So, but you're going to be there tonight?
No. No, I'm not. But only because it's I've got a movie scheduled tonight for with a tadpooler. We're going to go see the new John Wick spinoff.
Ooh, nice. Okay, you can watch the recording later.
Those I know I can watch on my own time as well. So I'll watch the other one this afternoon. I'll watch the Monday drop this afternoon, and then I'll catch up with the other one.
Love it. Okay, I was thinking I gotta tell Brian in public if he's ready here. Okay.
I know. I was ready for you to ask me, and that's why I was so quick with the nope.
Nope, I'm not. I've already decided. No, I love it. Yeah, it's going great, and we're first week in, and it's there's been some really fun moments already, and
oh good,
so it's
good.
Exciting.
I'm very excited. I've already, thanks to Logan, already been using some of the stuff that we kind of the pre time management stuff that we covered in one of the live workshops.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. It's been great.
That's awesome. Logan's great. We love Logan.
Logan is great. Yeah.
It's gonna be so fun. Yes, thank you.
He's not just the name of a sleepy town up north. Where I live. Anyway, well, this is great. Wendi, always fun hanging with you. For those at home or like want to learn more, go to knowbetteryou.com. That's knowbetter and then the letter u.com and read all about it. You can be in line for the next time this stuff falls or happens.
That's
falls
right.
isn't the
and
right
it's
word.
KNOW, by the way.
What'd I say?
That's right.
You didn't spell it, but KNOW. And I had an email recently that just made my day. Somebody was really struggling to get to sleep. Their partner was really having whiplash with changing jobs and shifts and stuff. And so they downloaded the sleep guide and put it to use and fell asleep immediately that night. So if you need some sleep help, there's a free resource there, and there's a free procrastination resource. So free stuff on the website as well.
Fantastic stuff. Go check it out. It's Wendi Dunford. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Her buzz went away, which was nice.
It did. Like about halfway through the call, it was clearer. Like her network figured itself out.
I think what happened is
networks find a way.
That sounded like someone leaning on the cable wrong, or it was pulled out a little bit.
When she was leaning into like all the data wasn't getting through because the cable was pinched a little bit.
More like something's interfering, like some power supply somewhere, or some shit was going on. I hate stuff like that, but it all worked out in the end.
That's why you need those stupid little magnetic blocks, those magnetic cylinders.
Oh, the
that they have on some of
ferrites,
those
yeah.
cables. Yeah, the ferrite.
I love a good ferrite.
I do.
Yeah, they're great.
Plus, it makes it so you can use that cable as a weapon if you need to.
Yeah. That'll leave a mark. All right. Hey, you guys, that's it for the show. Quick reminder, Coverville at 3-ish or so, you figure. It's right around
That's
the time.
right, 3. Yeah, we'll just shoot for 3.
Okay.
That way, if people, I just don't want to wait for him to say, okay, it's time. No, just plan on 3.
Just plan on 3 o'clock, you guys.
Yep.
It'll be right around the time Core takes a break, so it actually might be perfect if you're sick of Core at that point. And maybe you won't be. I don't know. But Core happens today at 1 p.m. It is a big preview day. There's a couple things going on. Today is Switch 2 launch day, so we have some stories around that. And also... the big Games Fest kicks off tomorrow.
Oh, right, yeah.
And there was a PlayStation thing yesterday, and there's an Xbox thing on Sunday. So it's like like E3's replacement is happening right now.
The PlayStation thing, the only thing I saw from that was, of course, it recommended it to me on YouTube because it's a Marvel thing, but a Marvel fighting game that kind of has a very Capcom feel to it, but has really cool character design. I'm not a big fighting games person, so I won't pick it up, but I kind of like the look is really cool. I can't remember what it's called.
I think it's called Pragmata.
Souls?
Oh, no, wait, hold on. It's a Capcom joint, right? Isn't it Capcom?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Oh, what do they call it? Shoot, you're right. I just have to get all caught up on this before 1 today because some of this I missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the new James Bond game looks insane. I'm mostly excited about that.
Fighting Souls, yeah.
Fighting Souls.
I didn't see the James Bond game.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, these are all... My only beef with yesterday's State of Play is that almost all of these are coming to everything. Mm-hmm. So they're not PlayStation exclusives. But the one I'm most excited about is the James Bond First Light game because it is made by the Hitman people. And that means a very different approach to a Bond game, not just let's go shoot stuff. It's going to be a lot more than that. And I am very, very, very excited.
I'm excited about that. Oh, cool.
Yeah, go watch that trailer. You'll get a kick out of it.
I will,
It's really good. Anyway, so there you have it. The Marvel game 9 of 12 is coming to everything. I don't think it's just...
Epic. The thing I just saw said Steam, Epic, and Epic is goes to Xbox, right?
Epic's just their store. Their PC store. It competes with Steam.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So really, they just mean they're coming to the 2 big stores on PC. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it looks great. Yeah, I saw the Alien Earth trailer before the show today. Have you seen the trailer yet?
No, not the new one.
Ooh, Brian, I am put it in my veins. I'm ready.
Take my money.
Oh, it looks so good.
Cool.
We actually get characters. We get a little bit of story tease.
Good.
I'm so excited. I can barely handle myself.
Excellent.
Anyway, Core today, 1 p.m. Be there for that. TMS Friday happening at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So you're going to want to be here for that. If you are a patron, and if you are not one, you can sign up now and still be there. And we'll have more Core stuff, a live stream of the main event reveals tomorrow from Summer Game Fest. So watch for that. And then Film Sack this weekend, we are covering Double Trouble, one of the worst movies we've ever seen.
It's rough.
But we had fun. We had a good time.
But I was really happy with my song on that one. Really proud of that loungy crooner business.
Total banger. It's one of your best. And also, we like a bad movie sometimes. It's a terrible movie. And it makes for a great conversation. So anyway, you guys got to check that out. That's going to do it for us. frogpants.com/TMS for all your needs. Brian, let's get out of here with a song. What do you got?
I've got a song in my heart and no, this is a request going out to Nathan and Jennifer. Hey, Brian, June 6th marks 10 wonderful years of marriage for my wife Jennifer and I. We'll be traveling to escape our children on the 5th and thought it would be nice to surprise her while we're driving. We danced to both of the songs that they gave me at our wedding, and a cover of either would be awesome. Any genre will do. Love the show, though, Nathan. Let's hear it for people married on D-Day, right? June 6th. Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
Tina and I got married almost 33 years ago. It'll be 33 years tomorrow on D-Day. And storming the beach at Normandy, also getting hitched.
You know what? Cool. I think you guys are going to make it. I think you and Tina
so. I think we got a really good chance at this point.
Yeah. It feels like a really good start, to a nice long marriage.
Yeah, as long as she lets me play my frickin' Midnight Suns while I'm sitting on the couch next to her, that's a whole new thing. Anyway, the songs that Nathan and Jennifer, or that Nathan requested, either Ed Sheeran's "Thinking Out Loud" or Norah Jones's "Come Away With Me," and I'm going with the latter, going with "Come Away With Me" by Norah Jones because I love the original. And it gives me a chance to play a Spice Girls cover. Woo! This is by Emma Bunton, better known as Baby Spice. In 2019, she released a whole cover album. Yes! Oh, I'm so happy. It's called My Happy Place, making her happy as well. This is her cover of Norah Jones' "Come Away With Me," featuring, who's this guy? Who's this chump? Josh Kumra, joining her on vocals, turning it into a duet. Here is Emma Bunton.
Frog in Pants. If you're looking for something froggy smooth, find more at frogpants.com.
You couldn't do that before.
You've improved on perfection.